Kayla Benton was a 27-year-old travel and nature blogger who had built a strong following online. She loved exploring the wild parts of America, but nothing excited her more than the Florida Everglades. With its wide marshes, twisting waterways, and countless animal species, it was a place of mystery and beauty. Kayla had spent months planning her solo trip into the Everglades. She posted pictures on Instagram of her bright red kayak, her waterproof gear, and the notebooks where she planned to record her thoughts and ideas for a new video series. She told her followers she would be out of contact for a few days and was excited to film deep in the swamp. That was the last time anyone heard from her. At first, nobody worried. Kayla was known for going off-grid during her adventures. But when a week passed and she didn't return messages from her family, concern quickly turned to panic. Her parents filed a missing person report, and local authorities began searching. They found her car parked near a remote boat launch. But there was no sign of Kayla. Search teams used helicopters, airboats, and tracking dogs. Still, nothing turned up. No kayak, no phone, no camera, no clues. People began sharing her story on social media. News stations picked it up. Some thought she had gotten lost or hurt. Others feared she might have run into something more dangerous in the swamp. After a month with no results, the search was scaled back, and eventually the case went cold. Kayla's disappearance became one of many strange cases in the Everglades. Her blog remained online, frozen in time, filled with photos of smiling adventures and hopeful dreams. Her followers left comments full of prayers and sadness. Her parents never stopped looking, checking in with police, and even hiring private searchers. But a full year passed with no progress. Life continued for most people. But the mystery of the missing blogger still haunted those who remembered her. Then, one sunny morning, a fisherman named Travis was pulling up crab traps about 20 miles off the coast. It was just a normal day until he noticed something strange tangled among the crabs. It was a phone, dirty, water-stained, but clearly still whole. And it had a pink case with a sticker that said Wild Soul. The exact same one Kayla used in her Instagram pictures. Travis couldn't believe what he was looking at. The phone was sitting right there in the middle of the crab trap, mixed in with seaweed and live crabs. At first, he thought it had to be junk. Maybe just a broken phone someone dropped off a boat. But when he saw the pink case with the faded Wild Soul sticker, something about it felt strange. He carefully picked it up, wiping away some of the grime and salt. The case was cracked, but still held together. He remembered seeing a story on the news about a missing travel blogger, Kayla Benton. His girlfriend used to follow her on Instagram. He quickly snapped a photo of the phone with his own device and sent it to her. Within seconds, she called him back, nearly shouting, "That's Kayla's phone? That's her case? That's the exact sticker." Suddenly, the air felt heavier. Travis radioed the Coast Guard and explained what he had found. They told him to stay put. Within the hour, a patrol boat arrived, and 2 officers boarded his small vessel. They took the phone carefully, placing it into a special evidence bag to protect anything that might still be on it. If the phone still had data, even damaged, investigators might be able to trace Kayla's last moments. They thanked Travis and asked him where exactly the trap had been sitting. He pointed to a GPS location about 20 miles from shore, far from where anyone had thought to search for her. Back on land, the news spread fast. Reporters picked up the story and posted headlines. Missing blogger's phone found in crab trap. Kayla's parents were contacted immediately. They rushed to Florida, holding on to hope that maybe, just maybe, there would finally be answers. The phone was sent to a digital forensics lab. Experts worked quickly, drying it out and examining its internal components. Surprisingly, parts of the memory chip were still intact. Even though the phone had been underwater for months, it had been stuck inside the trap where less water pressure might have helped preserve it. Soon they recovered several photos, some video clips, and GPS data from the days before Kayla vanished. There was footage of her paddling through narrow mangrove tunnels, smiling into the camera. Another clip showed her stopping at a small island to set up camp. Then came a shaky, blurry video, only a few seconds long, but enough to send chills through everyone watching. In the background, far behind Kayla, a dark figure was barely visible, moving silently among the trees. The video clip was only 12 seconds long, but it caused a wave of panic and curiosity. Investigators played it over and over, zooming in and adjusting the lighting. The figure in the background was hard to make out. It looked human, but something about its movement was off, slow, careful, almost like it didn't want to be seen. Kayla didn't seem to notice it. She was focused on the camera, talking about the sounds of the birds and the beauty of the island. But the figure remained just at the edge of the trees, hidden in shadow, watching. The clip ended abruptly and no more videos followed. That was the last recording on her phone. The next day, based on the phone's GPS, she had moved to a different spot farther into the Everglades, and then all signals stopped. That location was still inside the massive swamp, in an area known for deep waters and thick vegetation. Police and rescue teams launched a second search. This time, they focused on the coordinates from the recovered phone. Boats, helicopters, and even drones were sent to the area. A week into the new search, they found something. Kayla's red kayak, stuck between two fallen trees and a narrow waterway. It was covered in dirt, leaves, and moss, clearly abandoned for some time. Inside were a few items: her sleeping bag, a broken flashlight, and one of her journals, half soaked but still readable. The last entry, written in smudged ink, read, "Something's not right. I think someone's been following me. I heard footsteps last night, and they weren't from any animal. I'm scared." That sentence shook everyone. Kayla had sensed she was being watched, and now it seemed that fear had been real. Searchers pushed deeper into the swamp, looking for signs of human activity: campsites, footprints, anything. But nature had swallowed the land. The swamp was constantly shifting, and even small trails vanished quickly. After days of searching, they found a makeshift shelter built from palm leaves and branches about a mile from the kayak. It looked like someone had stayed there for a few days. There were old food wrappers, a metal cup, and what looked like burn marks from a small fire. A forensic team collected everything. They even found a long strand of blonde hair tangled in one of the branches. DNA tests would later confirm it belonged to Kayla. The mood around the investigation changed. This was no longer just a missing person case. Someone had been out there with her, someone she didn't know. And someone who may still be there, hiding in the shadows of the Everglades.
As the investigation moved forward, the evidence began to build a disturbing picture. Kayla had not just disappeared. She had been followed, watched, and possibly the recovered phone, the last video, her journal entry, and the abandoned kayak all pointed to one conclusion: someone had been out there with her. But who and why? The police dug through every detail of her life. They looked at her followers, online messages, and even people she might have met on previous trips. One name stood out. A man named Vincent Marks had commented on nearly every one of Kayla's travel blog posts. At first, his messages seemed harmless, just a fan. But later, ones became more personal and strange. "Saw you near Clearwater Beach last month. You looked happy." Or, "Be careful out there. The swamp isn't always friendly." Her parents remembered Kayla once mentioning someone who made her uncomfortable online, but she never thought it was serious. Authorities tracked Vincent down to a small, isolated home in southern Florida. When they arrived, they found maps of the Everglades, marked with red circles. One of them matched the exact spot where Kayla's kayak was discovered. There were also dozens of photos printed out, some from Kayla's blog, but others that had never been posted online. They had been taken from a distance, clearly without her knowledge. When questioned, Vincent claimed he was only a fan. He said he liked her adventures and wanted to make his own videos in the swamp. But investigators weren't convinced. They searched his home and found a backpack buried in a shed behind his house. Inside were several of Kayla's belongings, including her other phone, which had gone missing before her trip. The evidence was too strong to ignore. Vincent was arrested and charged with stalking and possible involvement in Kayla's disappearance. But one mystery still remained: where was Kayla? Teams returned to the Everglades with dogs trained to find human remains. For weeks, they combed through the swamp, digging, diving, searching. Then, nearly 2 miles from the shelter, they found what they had feared: a shallow grave covered by palm leaves and mud. Inside were bones, clothing, and the broken remains of a camera. Dental records confirmed what everyone had hoped they wouldn't hear. It was Kayla. Her parents were devastated. but they finally had answers. She had fought to the end, leaving behind clues that eventually told her story. Her followers around the world mourned her, posting messages filled with sadness and love. A memorial was built near the edge of the Everglades where she had launched her final trip. People left flowers, letters, and small tokens in her memory. Though her life ended in tragedy, Kayla's courage and spirit remained. She had gone into the wild with hope and bravery, and even in the darkest moments, she had not been silent. Her voice was found in the mud, in the videos, in her writing, and because of that, she was never truly lost.